You ever think about how one tiny decision in a show you love could just change everything? I mean, take Friends. Chandler and Monica, right? They always felt like they were going to end up together, like it was inevitable. But what if I told you that a super random, kind of frustrating plot twist, the whole Chandler moves to Tulsa thing, was actually the single most important moment that defined their entire future? Yeah, for real. So let's break down what I'm calling the Tulsa test and see why it changed absolutely everything.
Okay, so this is the big question, right? What if Chandler never went to Tulsa? Just imagine for a second. He doesn't fall asleep in that meeting. He never has to pack his bags and leave New York. What does that world even look like for maybe the most iconic couple on TV?
Well, at first glance, it sounds kind of great, doesn't it? I mean, they'd get to skip all the drama. No painful long-distance calls, no misunderstandings, none of that emotional strain. It's just the smooth, easy path. It really seems like the better version of their story, right?
Yeah, but that's where we'd be wrong. See, the truth is, when you take away that one conflict, you're not just taking away the pain, you're taking away the proof. You're getting rid of the very thing that forged their bond into something real, something you just know is unbreakable. Without Tulsa, believe me, everything changes.
So, to really get why this is so important, we got to rewind a bit. We need to look at who Chandler Bing was before this whole thing happened. Because he wasn't the secure, married guy we all remember by the end of the show. Nope. He was someone else entirely.
I mean, think about it. Sarcasm was basically his armor, right? And real, actual emotion, that was his kryptonite. And commitment? Oh man, commitment. That was the one thing he spent years literally running away from. Before Monica, Chandler was a guy completely defined by his fear of getting too close.
But then there was Monica. She was the exception, you know? The one person who actually broke through all that armor. Their relationship was already pushing him to change, to be a better person. But look, being challenged when you're safe and comfortable at home, that's one thing. Being tested when you are completely on your own, well, that's a whole different ballgame.
And that brings us right to the test itself. The move to Tulsa just rips away his safety net. It separates him from Monica, his emotional anchor really, and throws him headfirst into a situation that feels like it was designed to expose every single one of his old weaknesses.
So it all kicks off with a simple mistake at work, right? He falls asleep and boom, he's basically exiled to Tulsa. Right away, that distance creates all this doubt and strain. And then comes the real test. A coworker shows interest. And for a split second, the old, runs from commitment Chandler is staring down a massive choice.
Okay, this is it. This is the peak of the whole test. He's lonely, he's confused, and here's this easy way out of all that discomfort, right in front of him. This is the exact moment where he could just snap back to being the guy he used to be, the guy who ran the second things got hard.
But he doesn't. In that one critical moment, he makes a totally different choice. He says no to the temptation. And he gets on a plane home to Monica. It's such a simple action, but what it means, it's a huge, monumental shift happening inside him.
And that is what makes this choice so powerful. See, he isn't just coasting along in the relationship because it's comfortable anymore. No, he's hundreds of miles away looking at everything he stands to lose, and he actively, decisively chooses her. It's a choice that comes from this sudden, new clarity about what he really wants. Okay, so now let's talk about the ripple effect. Let's see how this one single choice leads to a complete transformation of his character. Because I'm telling you, the guy who comes back from Tulsa is not the same guy who left.
I mean, look at these two timelines. They could not be more different. With the Tulsa storyline, their love is tested, it's earned, it's proven, it feels real. But without it, the relationship is just comfortable. It's easy, it's the logical next step. And sure, it's still good, but it's weaker. It's weaker because it was never really put through the fire.
You know, before all this, Chandler really leaned on Monica's stability. She was totally his rock. But in Tulsa, she just wasn't there. So he had to figure out how to be his own rock. He was forced to build his own emotional strength without her physically being there to prop him up. And the direct result of all that growth is this super clear path forward. It's like dominoes. The test leads to maturity. That maturity builds real, genuine confidence, and that confidence is what finally makes him truly ready for marriage. So when he proposes, it doesn't just feel like the next logical step. It feels earned. It's the payoff for his single most important character arc.
All right, so let's flip this around for a second and wrap things up.
Let's look at this from Monica's side of things and why this kind of messy storyline was so essential for both of them.
See, this wasn't just about Chandler growing up. Think about Monica. She needs to have control, right? And Tulsa was a situation she couldn't fix, she couldn't organize. The only thing she could do was trust the man she loved. And when he came home, he proved that her trust was totally justified. That solidifies their foundation in a way that just being comfortable all the time never, ever could.
So really, it all boils down to this, right? Without the conflict, you don't have any proof of their strength. Without the distance, you don't get the perspective to see what you really have. And without the risk, a choice doesn't really mean anything. That easy version of their story, the one without Tulsa, it's missing all three of those crucial ingredients.
And ultimately, that's what makes a relationship so compelling to watch, right? Both on TV and in real life. We don't connect with perfect stories. We connect with survival stories. We root for the couples who go through the storm and actually make it out the other side, holding on to each other even tighter.
So if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this. The whole Tulsa storyline wasn't some weird, flawed plot point. It was the entire point. It was the definitive proof of why Chandler and Monica were meant to be. The writers didn't just tell us they were solid, they showed us.
And that's the beautiful irony of it all, isn't it? The very thing that was supposed to pull them apart ended up being the thing that revealed the true, unshakable strength of their bond. It showed us what was really there all along.
Kind of makes you wonder though, doesn't it? If this one little storyline had such a massive impact, what about all the others? What if Ross had actually stayed with Emily? What if Joey and Rachel had worked out? I mean, the possibilities are endless, and every single one completely changes the story we all thought we knew so well.